Hello and welcome to the last of the stories vlog. This will take a second to mourn. Hello and welcome to the December stories vlog. I have a couple of things to tell you about. One of them is on my screen right now, even though you can't see it very well. It is currently the project for Awesome, and when you see this it will be well and truly finished. We are in the last hour currently. I haven't muted, but I have been watching it. I bought a signed picture of pregnant Harry Styles. If you know where that's from, comment down below, tell me where it's from. I will be very impressed and also will be your friend. YouTube Rewind happened. They played it very safe. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But it's basically like a countdown video. It's like, you know, all of these like best to worst, like top 10, but so there's like no original content in it. It's basically just like some jazzy editing. They played it very safe and people have mixed opinions on it. It's a lot better than last year, and it feels like an actual rewind. Like there was stuff in it where I was like, oh yeah, I remember that, and this has happened, and oh cool, I learned about this cool thing that happened this year. But it wasn't like fun and interesting like the other ones were. It was very safe after the disaster of last year. Finished reading Darkness at the Edge of Town, which is over there, and I can't be bothered to go get it, so I'm just not going to. It was by Adam Christopher. It was pretty cool. I think the scenes with Elle in it were like a complete waste of time. So if you guys didn't watch the last one, it is Hopper's backstory from Stranger Things. I think the scenes with Elle in it were put in for the simple fact that they could put Elle on the front cover of the book. I do not think it was necessary. I do not think it added to the story. In fact, I think it took away from the story. That would be my main criticism. Apart from that, the story was pretty cool. I would have preferred a more kind of Stranger Things specific vibe to it. There was kind of like a vibe of like maybe this main antagonist might have some of these like mysterious powers, but it's not 100% clear, and also they kind of explain them away, so whether or not that explanation is true or he does have some of like the mysterious powers that we see in Stranger Things or not is kind of but yeah, apart from that, the mystery was cool, the characters were cool, I enjoyed it. I just have a couple of bits of criticism. I started reading Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. I have read this before when I was a kid. I do not remember anything about it, however I remember the fact that I read them. I remember that I read them on the Kindle. I do not remember how old I was. I don't think I read them in order. I just know that I'd read them. And so I'm reading them again because I'm an archaeologist and I'm interested in classics, and it's the thing that a lot of people are interested in classics. It's like how they got into it. So I'm only about 30 or 40 pages into the first one, but it's kind of this is going to be a long-term venture. I plan on reading most of the series. I finished reading Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. I really enjoyed it. I didn't feel like, I realised it's like a mid-grade book, and I am a 20-year-old archaeology student, but I did not feel talked down to at all. I felt like I don't know, like there was references to stuff that if you aren't savvy on classics, like classical mythology, you might not get, but there was like everything that you needed was explained, so it kind of felt like it had, you know, it appealed to both of these audiences. I know that a lot of people criticise it for being very similar to Harry Potter, and there's a lot of similarities, like the characters are very similar, like the sort of quest style stuff is very similar, but I don't know, it was fun, I enjoyed it. I do intend to read the rest of the series. It was a dead easy quick read, and I remembered absolutely nothing from when I read it when I was a kid. I started reading Cress by Marissa Meyer, which is the third book in the Lunar Chronicles series. I really enjoy this series, and every time I read it I'm like, this is great, but then I don't read the next one for like another year. Probably has literally been a year since I read the last one. But yeah, it's slow at the moment because I'm still trying to remember what's going on, and also they're a really like hefty book, so I think it's going to take me a little while to get into it. I think I'm only like 60 pages in, but in the meantime I picked up book 1 and 2 in the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time manga. I found them, it was 50p for 2 in a charity shop, and I thought they're going to be like a quick boost to my Goodreads goal, and also they're going to be a bit of fun, so I picked them up. I'm on the second one. It's really like cute and wholesome and childish, and like, to be honest, there isn't much like depth to the story, or like there's stuff that have been happening that I know is like way shortened for the purposes of this manga, but it's cute and fun, and like I'm enjoying it. It's just not like the most intellectual thing ever. I finished reading the second Zelda book, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time Part 2. I didn't like this one as much as the first one. It was very like action heavy and less like story heavy, which works quite well in a manga, but I don't know, I found some of the panels like quite confusing and a little bit all over the place. So yeah, I enjoyed them a little bit more, but no, I'm not going to continue with this series. I just picked these up in a charity shop because they were cheap and I thought they'd be fun. So yeah, if I see some more in a charity shop or in my library, I might pick them up, but it was just a fun little quick thing to read. Me and Caitlin went to go see the Les Mis concert in the cinema, and I was not ready. Basically, so if you don't know, Les Mis, one of the best musicals of all time, is currently in the Sondheim. Where's the next door? The Sondheim. It's in a different place than it usually is, because the place where it's been for years in the West End is getting refurbished. So they moved next door, and then rather than putting on the full concert, putting on the full performance, they put on this concert version where they had like a lot of the cast members come, but they just did like a sort of half performance, half just a singing thing. And it kind of became like it's a thing in its own right. Like they've kind of done concerts before and they've obviously done the show before, and it kind of became something in the middle, and the cast was like absolutely amazing. There was Alfie Boe, Michael Ball, Carrie, Hope Fletcher, my fave. Who else was in it? Matt Lucas was in it. Like the cast was just incredible. So I really wanted to go see it when it was in London. I mean, I would have like chopped off a finger to get tickets to this, and then they announced that they were going to be coming to cinemas. So I'm not really going to go into why, but it was a massive pain for me to go see this in cinema because of like other commitments and other stuff that was going on at the time. But I was determined to get tickets to this. So me and Caitlin went to go see it at Cineworld in Newcastle, and it was, I'm so glad that I did. It was so good. And one of the things I like about Les Mis so much, like the story is fantastic, but the songs are next level. Like every single song is like a top tier musical song, and the singing it was so much better than usual because they weren't performing, they weren't like dancing on stage, and yes they were in costume, and yes they had like, you know, lines and things like that, but because they were concentrating on the music, it was so much better. It was so good. And because it was the last one that they ever did, they showed the last one live, and then they did some repeats, but it was we saw it live, we got to see the live one. And they got a bunch of, they passed over from, they're getting a new Javert in the new one, so they kind of passed over that, and they did like some cool like duets at the end, and they got a bunch of famous Jean Valjeans to come out, and they sung Bring Him Home, and they had the director came out and the producer came out, and the guy who wrote the songs for Les Mis was in the audience. He didn't talk, but he was there. I've talked about this for nearly 3.5 minutes now. It was really good. Me and my parents went to go see like an Amdram version of The Haunting by Charles Dickens, except it's not actually by Charles Dickens as far as we could find out. It's like based on it's like written by someone else, like based on like Dickensian stuff. It was very unclear. I enjoyed it, but like I don't know, the ending was weird, and we couldn't really work out if like I don't really want to say. If any of you guys have seen it, then like let me know how it ended when you saw it, because we're unclear as to whether or not the ending was just a thing that they added. It was like very one tiny little thing that happened right at the very end, and we're unclear as if the play just added it in, like the theatre just added it in for like a little bit of added drama, or if it's actually written into the script, because if it is, then the ending makes no sense whatsoever. Me and my mum and my dad went to go see a Improv Musical by this group called the Suggestibles. It was like kind of Christmas themed. Basically you go and they get like a bunch of themes from everyone, you like shout stuff out, and then they improvise a musical based on it. We saw them a while back, it's probably mentioned in one of these videos, and they were really good. Did we see them, was it last Christmas? It might have been last Christmas that we saw them, but yeah, we saw them again. Doing a Christmas musical. They kind of perform a lot around Newcastle. I think they're kind of an Edinburgh Fringe kind of thing as well. But yeah, they're really, really funny and really good, and like how the improv musicals is very, very impressive. The musical ended up being, the main villain in it was Mariah Carey, at my suggestion. They asked you what annoys you about Christmas, and I shouted Mariah Carey, and they picked that one, so that was fun to be involved. That was quite cool. But yeah, please don't attack me. The song's just a bit annoying. I listened to this audiobook called it was like from the DCI Ryan series. Let me find out what it was called. It was just called Sycamore Gap, and it's basically like these set of mysteries set like in this area where I'm from, and I thought it sounded cool, so I reserved it, and it was fine. I'm unclear as to like if I'm gonna listen to the next one or not, because this one was like kind of sexist. The characters were all really like flat, and like I don't know, like 1 second they'd be ignorant to something, and the next minute they'd be like really savvy to it, or I don't know, the main character, DCI Ryan, was just really like, I don't know, like over the top, like he knew he was like perfect about everything, and you know, and even if he wasn't that clever, like not necessarily clever, even if he didn't like crack the case straight away, because there's got to be some sort of element of mystery, right? That, I don't know, he just was like, I don't know what the male version of a Mary Sue is. That's kind of what he was. I started listening to Daisy Jones and the Six audiobook. I'm really, really, really enjoying it. I don't know what it would be like as an actual book, obviously, but as an audiobook it works really well. It's basically a story of a band from like the 60s, 70s kind of era. It's fictional, and it's like it's like a biography about this band from like the band members. So it's basically like this like fan written biography about Daisy Jones and her band, the band, and their lives, but it's like completely fictional. So it's really interesting. They keep referencing songs, and I'm like, I want to listen to that song, but of course the song doesn't actually exist. It's told from like 20 odd different perspectives, so I don't really know how it would work if you were reading it, but listening to it, there's a different voice for everyone, and it's really good. Usually I don't like full casts, but this one works really, really well. So yeah, would recommend listening to this one as an audiobook. It's interesting. There's like multiple different love stories going on, but also like the drama of the band, and like the general vibe of like it's kind of being called a bit of a historical fiction. So it's interesting. I'm pretty sure we are finished with the stories vlogs. This is the end of this one. I need to edit it, and it's December, and I'm not making any more, so we are done. Do you like my jumper, by the way? It's from Primark. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed them. I enjoyed making them. I'm not going to be doing them next year though. Next year I have a cool new idea that if I haven't talked to you about already, if you know me in real life I might have mentioned it, but I have a video announcing it before I start. It's coming out in January, because I kind of want you guys to be involved a little bit, so I'm making a video telling you guys about it before I actually film it. So yeah, look out for that in January. Next year I'm also going to be trying to do more reading themed videos, because I was trying to kind of hold off on them this year, because I was already doing these, so I didn't really want to make like book hauls and things like that, so it's kind of all going in here, which means that next year you might be seeing more of that. So if there's anything you want to see, let me know down in the comments, and I think that is everything. If you have any requests or questions, leave them down in the comments. I've just said that. New videos every Wednesday, like, subscribe and all that jazz. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I think this video's coming out on Christmas Day, so I hope you had a Merry Christmas. And I'll see you next week. Bye.